Years ago, I had a problem with my spiritual dad, Archbishop Benson Idahosa. He had come to Ghana with Oral Roberts, and we filled the stadium in those days. Great service, great meeting. And after that, when Oral Roberts went back to Tulsa in America, he put it in his newsletter that action was for Idahosa. It was one of Idahosa's churches, because Idahosa had told him that I was his son and my church was one of his churches. And the fact of the matter is that if I'm his son and he's my father, there was nothing wrong about my church being one of his churches. And I had this young man around me that was very, he was some way. He was some way. He had a very wrong spirit. And he was the one who saw the article and called my attention to it. And said to me that you have to act and do something, because the old man is trying to use this statement to raise money, to get money from Oral Roberts. So when I heard that, I didn't think. That's why we have to pray for leaders, because he was very close to me. And I just acted. So I wrote a letter to Oral Roberts. And I put a disclaimer on what they have said, and said that they should retract it immediately because it's not true. Idahosa is my father, but my church is not part of his churches. So when the letter got to Oral Roberts, he sent the letter to Archbishop Idahosa. And when Idahosa read the letter, he sent 3 bishops to come to me in Ghana here, and to come with them to Benin City to meet him over the matter. When they came, I refused to go. I was so arrogant that I said, I'm not going. And you don't do that to Idahosa. How dare you? But at that time, I was the biggest charismatic pastor in town. I was everywhere in Europe, America, on big platforms, and I was hot on the market. And it had entered into my head. I thought I had arrived. So I told them they should go and tell him I'm not coming. Then Bishop Coker said, Nicholas, are you sure? Do you know what you are doing? You know who you are talking about? I said, I know, I'm not coming. Tell him I'm not coming. Hey, pride is somewhere. I had arrived. I thought that I was the biggest and the hottest thing in town. There was no charismatic church in town in those days. And the only person around me who could talk to me to listen was in Bible school, Bishop Nyako. And there was nobody else. Everybody else around me were people looking up to me. There wasn't any seasoned person around me to call my attention to what I was doing. And it's dangerous for leaders to be surrounded by people who just look up to you and can't speak truth to power. Very dangerous. So I wrote a letter, and Bishop Coker said, give me a letter. We have to go back with something. So I wrote a letter to him, and I said, I'm sorry I can't come, Papa. And Bishop Coker reminded me and said, Nicholas, are you sure of this thing you are doing? And I said, yes. He has no right to put a claim on my church. I struggled to build my own church myself. He didn't give me anything. He didn't help me. And Coker said, man, the man gave you scholarship to Bible school. He prayed for you. He helped you. Nicholas. I sent the letter. And when he got the letter, he took the letter and he turned the letter. And he sent me a letter and said, now that you have arrived and you said you don't need your father anymore, I take my hands off you. You are on your own, Nicholas. When I got the letter and the guy read the letter, he said, Papa, don't mind him. Who does he think he is? I turned the letter and I bent the letter. Folks, after that act, Lord have mercy, it was like demons were on the loose. They were after me. There was no prayer I didn't pray, no fasting I didn't fast. I called for prayer meetings and it was like the heavens were sealed. Nothing, no prayer went through. It was like I was throwing a ball at the wall and it was coming back to me.